Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us today on our very first Career College Exposition. My name is Lee Doubleday, and I work for the Imagine America Foundation to help put all of this together. So thank you very much for joining the call today. I wanted to mention before we get started that if you have any questions during the presentation, either at the top or the bottom of your screen, depending on how you are joining this call, there will be a button that says Q&A. You can just click on that button and submit any questions that you may have during the presentation, as we will be answering questions at the end of this presentation. So without further ado, I will be introducing Mr. Robert Martin, and he'll kick us off.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to today's inaugural Career College Exposition. As Lee said, I'm Bob Martin, and I have the pleasure of working with the Imagine America Foundation. We have provided some introductory materials regarding the foundation, not to take a lot of your time, but just to give you a little bit of background on who we are. If you have any questions on anything related to the foundation, scholarships, research, whatever it may be, these webinars, please feel free to contact either me or Lee Doubleday at the information that's given on the website. We're excited about today's webinar, frankly, because we've worked very hard here, particularly the staff of the foundation. I want to thank Lee Doubleday and Cindy Carlin for all the work that they've done, literally reaching out to scores of guidance counselors to let them know what's going on, but also to our partner, Universal Technical Institute. Thank you very much. Today's webinar really has one goal, ladies and gentlemen, and that is to give you, the high school guidance counselor, a better understanding of the vast career opportunities awaiting your students in the automotive technology sector. The career opportunities outlined in today's webinar are real and far-reaching, but they will require significant preparation, training, and guidance for your students to take advantage of and to move into those areas. For our part, IAF has been in business since 1999, and our primary mission has always been providing interested graduating high school seniors and adult interested students with information on careers and helping to provide financial assistance to them to pursue those careers and to pursue those dreams. Today, we're very pleased to have helped over 100,000 graduating high school seniors and an equal number of adult students, and that translates into about $100 million in financial aid. So we're very pleased with what we've been able to do. I want to thank, before we start real quickly, today's participants, the guidance counselors. I am married to a guidance counselor. I know what the end of the school year means to you folks, and for you to be taking out time from your end of the year testing schedules, your end of the year grading campaigns, and your graduation practices is very noteworthy, and we really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, automotive technology careers has always been one of the most popular programs for our students. Today's webinar is a service offering our nationwide network of more than 30,000 high school guidance counselors an idea, a glimpse at one of the outstanding programs in this country. We hope this service is going to answer some questions about specific career opportunities for your students, spell out some education and training requirements for this career, and showcase one of our many education partners. These partners are delivering quality, industry-leading programs to thousands of graduating high school seniors. Today's webinar is going to last 30 minutes with questions and answers because we recognize your very tight schedule. Once we finish with these remarks, my remarks, I'm going to go directly into the presentation. Our presenter will speak for approximately 15 to 20 minutes tops. At the end of the presentation, at approximately 10:25, I will then outline some of the questions that have come in during the course of our presenters' remarks, or we have had a couple that have come in actually by people who were unable to attend because of conflicts. and then ask either Steve or myself to answer those questions. We hope to have a very hard close at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So without taking any more time out of our presenter's remarks, let me introduce Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle has been with Universal Technical Institute for over 7 years now. He has been a representative, field representative, and now sits in a leadership education capacity with UTI. Prior to joining UTI, he had a very distinguished career in education as a coach, as a counselor, as an administrator. He knows very well the trials and tribulations of the secondary education market and the challenges these students are facing. Now Steve finds himself traveling the country along with other representatives of UTI, spreading the good word on career education and career training. So without any further ado, let me introduce Dr. Stephen Coyle.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm playing with the controls here just a little bit, trying to get a handle on these. I'm real excited to be here today, as he had mentioned there earlier about the end of the school year. I did that 25 times, so I know exactly what the sacrifices you're making right now to be on this call with us. So we really do appreciate that. And special thanks to Imagine America Foundation for allowing us to be part of this inaugural presentation, where, as I said, we're very excited. So let's get right to the message today. Our agenda today: first, we want to start with the challenges facing the workforce today. Then we'll follow up with opportunities in the automotive industry, and then finally close with Universal Technical Institute's career pathways and what we're trying to do in the industry today. As you all probably know, the workforce is changing. There's no doubt about it. You can see that in the past, we've had a very manufacturer-based, a very agricultural-based economy. And today, that has just done a complete 180. We've gone from manufacturing and agriculture being very minimal, and we are now in a service-oriented world today, to just put it bluntly. It's interesting that when we look at this issue that's taking place, because as Lee had mentioned earlier, we are and Bob, that we are faced with a skills gap that is widening. It's not narrowing. And so we're going to students, and in this slide you can see one of the things we did is very interesting. We did a survey of students to see what they're interested in, and we saw that 45% were interested in pursuing a STEM career. So that's great news. But then we look at it, and only 3% though wanted skilled trades. There's a disconnect there. They're not making the comparison there between the two, that skilled trades are actually STEM trades. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do to marry those two together. The problem we have right now is less than a quarter of jobs available require a bachelor's degree for entry into occupation. But the problem, that goes along with that is that nearly half of all college graduates wind up underemployed. As we all know today, we're not facing an unemployment problem right now. I think unemployment, just recently dropped to 4% or maybe just under that, which is outstanding. But the problem is we have a lot of underemployment. We have a lot of people with master's degrees working at Walmart and places like that. Nothing against Walmart, but it's just that's what we have right now. So we have a lot of people that are very disappointed because they spend a lot of time trying to get to where they are, only to find that there's no job availability there for them once they completed their program. We feel like the solution, in comparing the old to the new, and by the way, I do know that one of the things that you face is our parents. I know that because I had to do that myself. And, you know, a lot of you probably on this call get what I'm saying, but you have a hard time conveying that to the parents who have big dreams for their son or daughter to do certain things when their son and daughter really wants to do something different. This is a very key slide, I feel like, that would help with your argument there. The old was that what we would do first is we would pick a college first, and then we would pick a major, and then we'd pick a career. You know, that's the old way of thinking. Jerry Elner, my colleague who's on the call with me as well, we go all over the country, and we do this presentation very closely to this. And what we're suggesting to students today is the first thing you want to do is get your career, find your career. I use the term often, your passion can be your paycheck. And this is a great example. Find that thing that really excites you. Find that career. Then find the major that's going to get you to that career, and then find that school that's going to get you, into that field. So just the opposite of the old way of thinking. Instead of worrying about picking that perfect school first, let's pick our passion, and then let's find that major and that perfect school, and the problem will be solved. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the theory of 1-2-7, but the theory of 1-2-7, as you can see, if you add 1, 2, and 7 together, you get 10. And so what we're submitting here is that for every 10 careers that are out there today, only one requires an advanced degree. When I say advanced degree, that would be a master's degree or higher. For every 10 careers, only 2 require a bachelor's degree. But for every 10 careers, there are 7 that only require a competency-based credential. Now, that's a startling statistic, but it's true. 7 out of 10 of the jobs that are available right now do not even require a degree. However, they do require competency-based skills or credentials of some time. Face it yourself, when you take your car in to get it worked on, you don't expect to see a certificates on the side saying, oh, they have a master's degree in transmissions, or they have a specialist degree in power steering, something on those lines. What you're expecting to see are ASE certifications. That's what you want to know, that this person can fix your transmission, they can fix your power steering, they can take care of the rear end of the car, whatever the case may be. And so that's where we're at today, and that's where we need to focus our education. One of the things that we're trying to do at UTI is we're trying to work with educators, parents, and students to help them understand that, when you say STEM, you are saying skilled trades. You think in terms of someone that's, I get this all the time. Oh, I just want to work on cars. I don't need math. I don't need science. Well, you're mistaken, because everything. Cars today are rolling computers, and we have to be precise. You don't bring your car into the shop and to get the front end aligned, and somebody holds up their thumb and kind of lines it by eyeball. That has to all be calibrated to be done right. So that is really our message, is trying to help educators and parents, and actually parents are the harder sell, but that these are STEM careers. The other thing is that, and we put this word in here on purpose, post-secondary education. You rarely will hear me use the word college. Not putting college down or not putting university down, but when you say post-secondary education, that's a great vocabulary change for you, because that opens up to all types of education. Because when you say college, that student or that parent is going to immediately think of a 4-year institution. And there are so many other avenues out there that they can follow. And then finally, competency-based credentials are what employers are looking for when they're making hiring decisions today. They want to know, can you do this? Can you do that? You know, you could walk in there with a bachelor's degree, and that would be all well and good, but they're going to ask you, do you have credentials to fix a transmission? Do you have credentials that you know how to weld, that you can weld aluminum, or that, whatever the case may be. So that's what we're looking for today. Opportunities in the automotive industry. It's interesting today, today's automobiles, they have, like I said earlier, they're rolling computers. I think it's interesting, if you've seen a Ford commercial lately, they are really pushing their MyKey, the Ford MyKey. If you've not seen the commercial, the parent is sitting in the driver. I don't know if you know, but there's something wrong because the volume on the radio, it just won't go up very loud. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry about that." Well, what they've done is they've programmed the car through Ford MyKey so that car will not exceed 65 miles per hour, or that car will not play loud music, or whatever the case may be. There's just so much going on in automobiles today. And as you can see there on the screen, the navigation systems, the vehicle locators, the lane keeping assist, all these things are coming out, and all these things that are going on. We want these things, but we have to have somebody that can work on them. There's over 250 million cars on the road today. The average age of a vehicle right now is 11.6 years. People are hanging on to their cars longer because they're expensive. I mean, that's just the bottom line here. I even hear commercials of body shops and auto shops, and they're using that. They're saying, it's cheaper to fix your car than it is to go buy a new car. They're using that for marketing, obviously, but it's true. And we have to be aware of this, when we think about who's going to work on all these things. The career opportunities in the transportation industry is growing quickly. 1.3 million careers are expected by 2026 in the transportation industry alone. That's amazing. We're expecting 125,000 plus openings expected each year through 2026. And that's once again where with UTI, we're out there with everybody else trying to let people know we're just one of many trying to bridge that gap, that skills gap. And it's a tough road right now. Finally, Universal Technical Institute's career pathways. Universal Technical Institute, we are the leading provider of technician training. We've had over 200,000 graduates in our 53-year history. We started in 1965. We have 8 programs across 11 major metros. We are building a brand new campus getting ready to open in New Jersey as we speak, as we're very proud of. One of the things I think we're most excited about is our established TRIP relationships with 3,725 employers. TRIP stands for Tuition Reimbursement Program, which what we do is we actually work with employers, with dealerships, and they offer our graduates incentives. The medical industry has been doing it for years. Well, it's now gotten to that point in the automotive industry. Penske Auto Group, Auto Nation, just to name 2 of the 3,725. We just found out even in the railroad industry right now that they're starting to do that. They're needing diesel technicians. These packages are anywhere from $5, $10, $15, up to $25,000 that these places will offer our students to help pay off any student loans they may have, relocation, tools, all these type of things. Now, obviously, they're not just going to hand them a check. They want to they want to get something for that. So they're going to have them, work, and they'll be paid over time. But still, a great opportunity. And then finally, 4 out of 5 graduates get jobs. So we're very proud of that statistic, that we help our students to get into the industry. Our training programs are simple. We have auto, diesel, collision, motorcycle, marine, and NASCAR. And we've just recently added CNC machining and welding into our programs. And we have over 10,000 students nationwide enrolled in those various programs. We do have a national presence. Of course, with all of you, for where you're located, the UTI Orlando and our MMI Orlando, we actually have 3 campuses there. UTI Orlando is our auto, diesel, collision, and we have MMI, which is our motorcycle marine institute, and then we also have our Marine Mechanics Institute in Orlando. And then you can see the other locations that we have across the country, including our new campus in Bloomfield, New Jersey, that will be opening this fall. We have an established alliances with manufacturers. We have over 35 alliances with manufacturers. These are our industry partners for our career pathways. These are the people that hire our students. As I tell a lot of people, we're not preparing students for Jiffy Lube. We're preparing students to go to work for Alfa Romeo, for Peterbilt, for Honda, for Kawasaki, and the list goes on, as you can see on the screen. And we work very closely with these partners to offer manufacturer-specific training. So when our graduates leave our program, they can get specific training with a specific field, which makes them more hireable and makes them more marketable. As we said earlier, 4 out of 5 graduates get hired at UTI. We're very proud of that. But we also tell students, you don't get something for nothing. You have to work for it. We put a premium on attendance. We put a premium on professionalism, appearance, all these type of things, because that's what employers are looking for. We interview each one of our candidates before they're even enrolled. You cannot just come to UTI. You have to be invited. And that we play a very important role there in helping students to get prepared for the field. And then our college scorecard. This is a tool that I hope that you're using. If you're not, I would encourage you to do this. The college scorecard is a way for you to measure schools. We've done a quick comparison for you. We took 3 schools, one being UTI and the other 2 being Darton State College and George C. Wallace State Community College. I just picked a couple of schools at random to do comparisons with. And what you can see here is that we compared on 3 levels. We compared their, the cost of the education. We compared the how much money that a student can expect to make, and we also compared what their graduation rates are going to be. So as you can see in comparing the 3, although we are more expensive, and we know that, but we also can show you that we have a much higher graduation rate, whereas you see Wallace State Community College has a 17% graduation rate, and Darton State has a 12% graduation rate. Ours is 60. And and then salaries, you can see a difference too. 29,000, 24,000, we're at 43,700. So this is a great tool. If you're not using this, I would encourage you to do so. We did a comparison, UTI versus college. You can see that we compare very favorably to doctoral universities, to liberal arts colleges, and of course to 2-year public colleges, or the community colleges we call them. Average starting salary $43,700. We have a 63% graduation rate. So that's our UTI of Arizona campus, because that's what the Department of Labor looks at. And of course, with liberal arts schools, you can see once again we're in the top 10. Compare very favorable to some of the most elite liberal arts colleges in the country. We're eager to help students. We are Title IV funded, so we do accept the FAFSA. We have scholarships over $15 million available. We offer housing grants now to help students fund their first month living expenses, their rent, to help them get started. We offer institutional grants to reduce their tuition. Of course, the trip partnerships I mentioned earlier. And then we have third-party programs that can help in the case of emergencies that may arise from time to time. You are the catalyst, and we make no bones about it. As the counselor importance, we need you, because you are there. You're the contact. They're looking to you for help. Talking about the theory of 127. You're giving them real facts, about their career readiness, and we're relying on you to continue to do that. How we can help. We'll host your students at open houses in Orlando. We're having one on June the 9th coming up, and we'd love to have you there. And we can also visit your school. We have reps in that area that can come out and do workshops for you. We try to share current career pathways, and we are a STEM school. So we will help you in that respect too. And we will also help with scholarship opportunities and make those plain and available to you as well. Please feel free to follow us online. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams, Snapchat, YouTube. I mean, you turn it on, we're probably going to be there. So by all means, please feel free to contact me. My email address is there. My phone number is there. I welcome phone calls at any time. My phone is linked to me, I think, permanently. So I'd be glad to visit with you. And of course, at the end of this, as Lee and Bob had mentioned, we're going to have a opportunity for you to ask questions to if you have specific questions about what we're covering today, or would like to know more about what we're doing at UTI.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. It's now 10:30, and we do have a few questions. So I'll just mention that I will offer another 2 to 3 minutes for the questions, and then we can, knowing that many of you have got to leave, or I promised you a hard close at 10:30. So let's do this. The first question, this comes from one of our friends from Florida, who was unable to participate. It actually, now that I'm looking at it, answers the question you laid out, Steve, which is, are our students that are interested in UTI eligible for federal financial aid? But obviously, Steve, you've already answered that question.
Yes.
Is there anything they're completely eligible for both Pell and student loans, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we are Title IV funded schools, so they're eligible for anything, as long as they qualify.
From the same individual down in Florida, what is the admissions process for UTI? Campus visits, parental visits, interviews, etc. Do you feel you covered that adequately, Stephen? Or would you want to add?
Just real briefly, because I know we're short on time. What we do, as I mentioned, we do an interview process. We do not cold call. We go into schools and do workshops. That's how we make contacts with students. Students can also jump on our website and make inquiries as well. And then we have reps for specific locations that will follow up. And we set up things like we'll set up a personal interview with that student and their parents. We will not interview a student by themselves, but they must be with their parents to go over the process of what's going to take place. And then if we find that they're a good fit and we're a good fit for them, then we will enroll them, and then we stay with them throughout the entire process until we get them into school.
We got a question from someone from Georgia that wasn't able to attend. What is the first step in the admissions process? First step.
The first step in the admissions process is to make contact, and you can do that through our website. You can contact. You've got my contact information, so if you don't know who the rep is for your area, contact me, and then I can get you to that right person. But that's the very first step.
Okay. We got a couple more, but I did promise. So what I'd like to do is just do a summary. I want to first of all thank everyone thank our speaker, Stephen Coyle. We really appreciate it, all your time and energy and efforts. By way of summary, we are compiling and will forward the complete set of questions to everyone that had registered for this particular webinar. Second, we've recorded this webinar, this session, and we'll forward that particular access to that recording to all the registrants. It will also be placed on the Imagine America website, which is www.imagine-america.org, with downloading instructions. I would encourage everyone to either go to that site or go to the UTI site for more information. Finally, we're going to be showcasing this particular session in our upcoming Back to School edition of our magazine, Career College Central, which is going to come out in August 18th, in August 2018, forgive me. So please look for that particular magazine. In closing, let me again thank UTI, let me thank Stephen, and most importantly, thank the participants for sharing your time and your interest in helping these students. In closing, thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day and good luck on graduation.